3-0 sweep with the complimentary plays here last Saturday in college football. 78 and 46 roll with the plays I've given away in all sports over the past 12 months. Three more games I'm going to take a look at on this busy Saturday card. Out in Oregon, I think Noah's Ark is going to pull up to the stadium in Eugene. Is that going to stop the Ducks from winning by a huge margin against a Wisconsin team that I went against last week as my best bet, backing Ohio State, a Wisconsin team that's getting shut out in each of its last two games and has lost 5 in a row? I'm going to tell you whether or not that's going to be the case. Then another Big Ten game. We've got Indiana taking on a UCLA team that's reeled off 3 straight wins since the coaching change. Can the Bruins stay within that 26.5-point margin in Bloomington today? And then finally, a little bit of an under the radar game I'm going to take a look at, because how many times have I told you it's best to concentrate the most where the odds makers concentrate the least? Washington State and Toledo, a game that 99% of you can't name more than one player on either team. That's going to be the third game I'm going to take a look at today. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, general manager at DeMarcoSports.com. And this, of course, is going to be, surprise, surprise, your Saturday video report. Now, listen, guys, those are the complimentary plays, and I've done extremely well. But let's talk about the best bets, the ones that I'm selling, you're buying, and you're making a fortune with. So last weekend, a perfect 3-0 sweep. I won on Saturday, I won on Sunday, I won on Monday. Nothing better than winning on Saturday, though, because that sets the table for the rest of the weekend. And today, not only do I have top-rated 15 dime football winner number 38 out of 58, but it's number 9 out of 10 in college. And I'm calling it my 13-point under the radar route. But even better, over the past 2 years, this is going to be Saturday best bet winner number 20 out of 26. Yeah, I have just owned Saturdays, absolutely deadly on Saturdays. So, again, I've always said that you shouldn't ever expect to pay big money to make big money. And I've always proved it in the 25 years since I created this site, because it is once again going to be the half price play of the day using coupon code HALF. It's always coupon code HALF. It's so damn easy. HALF over at DeMarcoSports.com. Yes. And again, it's the 13-point under the radar route. It's just a little game. It's far from, oh, trust me. It wouldn't even be a marquee game if these teams won out for the rest of the season. It wouldn't be a marquee game. But I think it's the best bet on the board. And again, like I said, I think it's so important sometimes to concentrate the most where the odds makers concentrate the least. So just like last Saturday's 15-dimer, when I called it my 33-point blowout of the year, and Ohio State won 34-0 at Wisconsin, just like 2 weeks ago, USC by 18 over Michigan, and 3 Saturdays ago, Memphis by 38 over Tulsa. This is the best bet. You can also take advantage of that thing you see at the bottom of the screen. I'm not going to talk about it because I've talked about it every single Saturday and Sunday. And if you haven't taken advantage of it by now, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. It's like they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the drunks, can't say that, SOB, drink. Hey, it's there. You can take advantage of it. God bless you if you haven't yet. I don't know what your problem is. So let's move on. Let's talk about the complimentary plays. We will run them in reverse chronological order. So let's talk about the game between the Oregon Ducks and Wisconsin, because it goes to 7 o'clock Eastern time. I believe Noah's Ark is currently sitting outside of the stadium because it's going to be just a miserable day in Eugene. Isn't it always a miserable day in the Pacific Northwest? You realize they're not hiring me as their tourism director in Eugene anytime soon. But I mean, it's probably raining there right now. It's 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and I believe it's going to rain all day long. And I believe when I checked the latest hourly forecast, you're looking at about 45% showers throughout the game here too. So who does that benefit? It's going to benefit the team that can run the ball effectively, and that's going to be Oregon. And here's one of the biggest reasons I like the Ducks, despite the 31.5-point margin, okay? Not only are they the better team, like you have to be watching me to know that, but this is a team that I was so impressed with, and I told you last Sunday that I missed the boat last Saturday, even though I won with Ohio State, that I missed the ball when I should have went with Oregon, an 18.5 point favorite at Rutgers. They were coming off the home loss to Indiana, and they just destroyed Rutgers on the road. And Oregon generally on the road is not a great play because remember last year at Wisconsin, they were down in the fourth quarter and had to rally for 10 points to win that game 16-13, okay? But last week at Rutgers, they just absolutely devastated the Scarlet Knights 56-10. They could have scored 80 points if they wanted to. They had 750 total yards, and Rutgers only had 202. I also like them here with the bye on deck. And this Wisconsin team, I mean, listen, they got shut out 2 weeks ago at home, 37-0 by Iowa. They got shut out last week, 34-0 by Ohio State. Their quarterbacks in those two games, 15 for 36, 3 interceptions, 131 total yards. They've lost 5 straight games overall. They've only scored a total of 34 points in those games. I don't see how they compete. I don't care if it rains and everything else. I just got to go with Oregon and lay the points. So there we go. That's pick number one. Pick number two is going to go a little earlier on the card. Let's see, it's a 3:30 kickoff time. Yeah, 3:30 Eastern time kickoff. Yes, it is, Al. That's what it is. Okay, and I was going to switch the game here, but okay, 3:30 Eastern time. Let's talk about Washington State. I don't know if you watched the past 2 weeks with Washington State, but I was impressed. I think under the radar games, this certainly qualifies, Washington State. So 2 weeks ago, they go from Pullman, Washington, they go to Oxford, Mississippi, and they gave Lane Kiffin's Rebels all they can handle, right? They were a 31-point under or 32-point underdog, and they only lost 24-21. Okay, and they totally outplayed the Rebels in that game. So then they go from Oxford to Pullman, and then they fly to Charlottesville last week. They're up 20-10 in the fourth quarter against Virginia. And if not, I mean, they should have won the game. It was the craziest finish. A botched safety gives Virginia a 22-20 win. So now they're back home in Pullman this week, okay? So my thoughts on their performances the past 2 weeks. Maybe you give Ole Miss a mulligan 2 weeks ago because Mississippi, having Washington State coming in, a nomadic, independent team, maybe Ole Miss is caught looking ahead to today's game in Norman against Oklahoma. Maybe. And then Virginia, perhaps coming off a bye the week prior, they went to Louisville, upset the Cardinals. Maybe they took Washington State for granted, perhaps, and coming off the bye. But now Washington State is home for like the first time in almost a month, right? And they're a 1.5 point underdog. And they've got Toledo coming in. Now it's Toledo that's doing the long distance traveling to Pullman, Washington. Not exactly an easy trip, right? Rain's going to be pouring there too. Rain 95% at kickoff, 53% in the first half. It might clear up in the second half of the game. And I look at Toledo and they're 0-3 on the road. Now they opened the season as a 10-point underdog in Kentucky and lost that game, but played very well. But their other two road games, well, their last road game, they were 11-point chalk at Bowling Green, collapsed late, lost by 5. The road game prior to that, they were a 13.5-point road favorite at Western Michigan. They ended up losing by 1. So this is an 0-3 team on the road. And you look at the defensive metrics, and listen, Toledo looks great. I mean, they are number 5 versus the pass in FBS, giving up 140 yards a game. Number 6 versus the run, giving up 84 yards a game. But who the hell have they played? I told you 3 of the teams. Who are the 4 teams they have beaten this year? Western Kentucky from Conference USA, Morgan State, an FCS team, and 2 of the worst teams in FBS from the MAC, Akron and Kent State. I think this is a prime opportunity for a Washington State team that didn't win, but certainly gained confidence from those 2 road moral victories. I think it translates to the win on the field today. I'd like Washington State to win that game. Now, on the early part at noon Eastern time in Bloomington, where it's not going to rain, it's going to be partly cloudy for your weather forecast. You've got Indiana minus 26.5 points at home against UCLA. And listen, the Bruins have certainly played well here the past 3 weeks with the 3 straight wins since the coaching change. Tough situation, noon Eastern time in Bloomington, 9 a.m. Pacific Coast time for the Bruins to kick off that game. That's always difficult. But you've got an Indiana team. This is the best team UCLA will face all season. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? And I loved the way Indiana, after the big win against Oregon, took no prisoners against Michigan State last week, right? I mean, this is a team that is so well-rounded. They've won 13 straight games. That's a school history record. I think it's the fourth longest winning streak currently in FBS action. And UCLA is no longer that surprise team. Hoosiers coaching staff now have three games of film to scout the Bruins since the coaching change. So no surprises here. And I was not that impressed with UCLA with the overtime victory against Maryland last week because I didn't think the Terrapins have played that well. So again, I have to roll with Indiana here and lay the 26.5 points and go with the Hoosiers. So that gives us now that time, it brings us to that time, I should say, of ranking these plays. And these are tough, tough plays. I'll tell you what, I've got to go, even though Noah's Ark is going to be at the stadium, I've got to go with Oregon #1 and lay the 31.5 points. I have laid some big chalk this year with my best bets. Think about those games I just talked about: Ohio State, USC, Memphis, Oregon earlier this year. I've won them all. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go with Oregon today as your #1 pick. #2, yeah, Washington State. #2, Washington State, and #3, Indiana. So Oregon #1, Washington State #2, and Indiana #3. Those are your three freebies for today. I wish you well, guys, and we'll talk again on Sunday. Good luck, everybody.